right, so we're going to turn the page on the different types of interval training, directionality, and things like that we've been practicing so far. We are going to start working on chords. So the big thing to identify here, and this is something that many piano players will start very early in their journey, even in the second year for children. So this might even be the second year or the first year for adults. You can start practicing identifying two different types of chords: major chords and minor chords. The fastest way, I think the simplest way, is to tap into your intuition, tap into your gut when you're listening to these. I think if you're determining a major or minor chord from ear, you don't want to be thinking about it too technically, like, oh, well, it sounds like that's up four semitones or things like that. It's really going to help you to more just feel the quality of the chord. So how does a major chord feel? I'm going to play one again. I'm going to play a different one. I'm going to play a different one. I'm going to play one more. So 4 different major chords. What's the qualities that they share? Well, people use all kinds of different words. You might have your own vocabulary. Again, tap into your gut and how they feel. That's how you're going to be able to correctly identify them. But some common words might be happy, grand, or excited, or cheerful, or pleasant. Again, you probably have your own. Now, when we think about minor chords, let's listen to a few of those. How are these feeling? What kind of mood or impression are you getting from these chords? Minor chords tend to sound sad, mournful, dark, nocturnal, moody. I'm trying to see how many I can come up with. Unpleasant. Again, you're probably going to have your own examples, but what you really want to do when you're listening to these chords is tap into that gut instinct. The only other piece of advice I want to give you before I start trying to get you to discern these by ear is every time I play a chord, once you identify it, try to wash out the sound of that chord from your ear so that you can listen to the new one fresh. If you hear two chords back to back, it's very easy to pull in the sound of the previous chord to influence the new chord. And that's going to kind of affect if you hear something as major or minor. So as best as you can, it's not super possible to do this perfectly, but try to hear each one fresh. All right, let's begin. That's a minor chord. That's a major chord. That's a major chord. Did you get tricked by the lower pitch? Isn't it interesting how the higher pitched ones, the sound is a little bit tinny, harder to discern? This is a minor chord. It's got a kind of a sad sound up there. That is a minor chord. That is a major chord. Again, it can be kind of difficult to discern when we're in lower pitches. So try not to tangle up the low pitch with major or minor sounds, because we can have low-pitched minor sounds and major sounds. We can have high-pitched minor and major sounds. Okay, let's do 3 more. last one. That's a major chord. How'd you do? We'll be doing more chord, major, and minor stuff tomorrow.